For these games, age is just a number. Even after more than a decade, they still outshine most modern releases. Here are 15 games that prove classics never die. Let's talk about Mad Max, a game that perfectly captures the chaos and desperation of the wasteland. Released in 2015, this open-world gem often flies under the radar, but it's a masterpiece in its own right. The vehicular combat is brutal and satisfying, allowing you to customize your car to crush enemies on the road. The world is vast, desolate, and beautiful in its harsh way. Even today, nearly a decade later, few games capture the spirit of a franchise as well as Mad Max does. – 2014's infamous Second Son gave us a superhero game that truly made you feel powerful. The fluid movement and fast-paced combat make this one of the most fun open-world experiences ever. The city is full of details that make it a joy to traverse, and the powers provide a unique sense of freedom. With its stunning visuals and engaging gameplay, infamous Second Son remains a must-play even over 10 years later. Tomb Raider from 2013 is unmatched. The game blended intense combat, exploration, and puzzles in a way that modern action-adventure titles still try to replicate. Lara's transformation from a survivor to a fierce warrior was incredibly well executed, making her journey feel rewarding. While recent entries in the series lost some of that magic, the 2013 reboot remains a benchmark for action-adventure games. When Mirror's Edge launched in 2008, it was ahead of its time. A first-person parkour game with fluid movement and a striking art style, it gave players a sense of speed and freedom rarely seen in gaming. The dystopian cityscape created an atmosphere that was both beautiful and oppressive. Modern games still struggle to deliver such a seamless movement system, proving that Mirror's Edge was truly something special. Max Payne's story came to a brutal conclusion in Max Payne 3, and it did not disappoint. The game's environments were detailed and immersive. The narrative is emotionally charged, showing Max at his lowest point, struggling with addiction and violence. Few modern shooters can match the intensity and style of Max Payne 3, a true classic. Few RPGs offer the same level of emotional investment and meaningful choices as Mass Effect 2. Every loyalty mission felt meaningful, adding depth to the relationships you built. Released in 2010, it perfected BioWare's formula for deep storytelling, player choice, and squad-based combat. It is still considered one of the greatest RPGs of all time. Mafia 2 tells one of the best crime stories in gaming. The world is crafted with incredible detail that immerse you in the era. The atmosphere is enhanced by the game's narrative, which follows Vito Scaletta's rise in the criminal underworld. The game focuses on storytelling rather than open-world distractions, making every mission feel like a significant part of Vito's journey. Unlike modern open-world games that overload you with filler content, Mafia 2 keeps its story focused, delivering an experience that's tight, emotional, and unforgettable. Far Cry 3 is the game that put the series on the map, and for good reason. You're stranded on a tropical island, and it's up to you to survive and uncover the island's secrets. The gameplay is a perfect mix of exploration, combat, and progression. The world is huge, the missions are varied, and the freedom you get is incredible. And let's not forget Vaz Montenegro, one of the most iconic villains in gaming history. Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands is a throwback to the classic platforming and acrobatics that made the series so great. The powers you get, like freezing water or slowing down time, add a cool twist to the puzzles and combat. The visuals are gorgeous, with lush environments and smooth animations. If you're into action-adventure games, this one's definitely worth checking out. Sleeping Dogs is an open-world crime game that truly stands out even more than a decade later. The game delivers a gripping undercover cop story where you play as Wei Shen, infiltrating the ruthless Sun On Yee Triad. Unlike most open-world games that focus on shooting, Sleeping Dogs has some of the best hand-to-hand combat ever seen, with brutal martial arts moves and environmental takedowns that make every fight feel cinematic. It's a shame we never got a sequel, because Sleeping Dogs is still one of the best crime games ever made. While the Crysis franchise hasn't returned in full force, Crysis 3 remains a masterpiece of first-person shooters. The addition of the Predator bow brought a new level of strategy, allowing silent takedowns without breaking stealth. The world is a visually stunning mix of overgrown ruins and high-tech alien structures, creating an atmosphere that feels both post-apocalyptic and futuristic. Even today, it looks better than many modern games. The original Red Dead Redemption is still one of the greatest open-world games ever made. Released in 2010, it set a new standard for storytelling in video games. The combat was smooth and satisfying, with the Dead-Eye system allowing for cinematic shootouts, straight out of a classic Western. With its incredible atmosphere, unforgettable characters, and timeless gameplay, Red Dead Redemption remains an absolute classic. Rise: Son of Rome was one of the best-looking games of its time, and it still holds up today. The combat is simple but incredibly satisfying, with brutal executions and perfectly choreographed swordplay. The world is beautifully detailed, from the streets of Rome to the battlefields filled with thousands of soldiers. While many games focus on historical settings, few capture the brutality and grandeur of ancient Rome like Rise. Despite mixed reviews at launch, it has gained a cult following, and fans are still hoping for a sequel. Even after nearly a decade, The Witcher 3 remains the gold standard for RPGs. Playing as Geralt of Rivia, you explore a massive open world filled with meaningful quests, deep storytelling, and morally complex choices. And then there's the world itself. Rich, detailed, and full of life, from the war-torn lands of Velen to the breathtaking beauty of Skellige. With its incredible storytelling, unforgettable characters, and endless replayability, The Witcher 3 isn't just one of the best RPGs. It's one of the greatest games ever made. The Arkham series redefines superhero games, and Arkham Knight is its most ambitious entry. Gotham City is larger and more detailed than ever, with stunning visuals, dynamic weather, and a sense of atmosphere that makes you feel like you're truly patrolling the streets as Batman. The game also introduces the Batmobile, which adds new layers to exploration and combat. The free-flow combat is perfected here, allowing seamless counters, brutal combos, and smooth integration of gadget. With its deep story, intense boss battles, and incredible attention to detail, Arkham Knight remains the definitive Batman experience, and no superhero game has matched its level of quality since. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video, please hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. See you in the next video.